Alright, part two. So being, living your life in a spaceship, I know it's just crazy shit. This is the kind of stuff my brain thinks about regularly. So, it jumps from topic to topic. I'm trying to be a little bit more, stay focused a little bit better while I'm doing this stuff. But, just imagine that. Seriously, imagine the weird scenarios that can happen. You know what I mean? What if people went back to the moon and we set up a colony and a civilization on the moon, which I don't know why the fuck we haven't done that. That seems to me like it would be the smart thing to do, even though it might not be profitable yet. I would imagine, you play the long game and your return eventually would be huge. But say if we set up a colony up there that had, a couple 100,000 people, and then something happened to the Earth to kill off everybody on Earth that's still there, but not people on the moon. Say this asteroid's coming and the moon's out of the way when it hits the Earth, and it's like you sit there and watch it happen, knowing there's nothing you can do about it, and knowing that how are you going to get home? There ain't going to be nobody left to answer radios or using GPS or, trying to find your way to land. It would all have to be manual. You'd have to, take a space shuttle like we have, like the ones that retired, and fly it in and try to land somewhere, and you might not ever get, you might not ever get to be able to get back to Earth again. And then generation after generation being born on the moon. That's all they know. And they see the Earth, and they hear many stories about it, but it's like, it's all they know. Never seen it. There's a Twilight Zone episode. I don't know if it might have been one of the hour-long episodes, but these people are stuck on a planet somewhere. They've been there for 30 years. And this one dude, James Whitmore is the actor's name, but he was kind of like the leader of this group. He was an older guy, and he'd been there since the beginning, and there were kids and stuff that lived there, and they were born on this planet and knew nothing about Earth, and finally somebody comes to take them home, and they're finally going to get to see this Earth they've spent, here and however many years they've been there, learning about this place, and they have no idea what it's like, because this planet they're on is just like a barren desert, with caves and rocks and mountains and stuff. But I don't want to give away the ending of it, but stuff like that, that's the kind of things that make me think weird things like that. They were at the point they never thought anybody was going to come out. Hold on, I gotta get Jackie some water. Alright, so I got Jack some water. This is, I guess, kind of lead me in the direction of a topic where I don't want people to misunderstand me. I'm going to just explain how I feel about religion, and I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm not trying to spread the good word. I just want to explain why it is I believe that something created us. Now, I just find it hard to believe that evolution, not that things don't evolve, but that everything came from a single-cell organism, What would make these single-cell organisms branch off, and some of them end up being pine trees? Other ones end up going and they become a fox, and other ones are a giraffe, and other ones are, I don't even know. Wouldn't dinosaurs had to come from single-cell organisms too if that were the case? Because if that's how life is formed, it would have to take a shitload of time for single-cell organisms to evolve into a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a fucking Brontosaurus. And then it would have to start all over again with us. Maybe there's going to be plants and some of that shit out there, but it's just weird that what makes things, people, they're going to stay in the water and be a fish. This other one's going to be a bird. Oh, this one's going to become a monkey. And that monkey becomes a human. Now, I don't know. I really, truthfully, I don't know. I don't know if things have evolved like that or not. But even if they did, I would still believe that something created that single-cell organism. Now, I don't know what that is, this creator, this whatever it is that made us. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a he, a she, or if neither of the above. I don't know. I don't think we're capable of comprehending what God is if he is real. But I just call it that creator, whatever that is that created us, that's what I call God. Now, I have obviously no physical proof that I can show anybody, but like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody. You guys, anybody can believe what they want to believe. I truly believe that people should believe whatever it is they feel is the right thing to believe. But now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking science. I love science. I think science is one of the most amazing fucking things there is. I don't know much about it or how to do scientific shit, but I like to learn things about things that people have done through science, you know? So, hold on a second. Sorry, I heard a noise outside. Whatever that thing is that created us, I mean, I believe in a lot of stuff about science. It's just that one, because I have questions, you know, and it's like if we came from a type of monkey, yeah, there could have been, I'm sure there's more than one type of monkey, but whatever kind we came from, why is it that for something that would be exactly like some type of monkey, you know, I mean, there might be a different species of monkey, but still the general idea, it's a monkey. So if evolving was, because I don't know this is just my own thought, but I don't think that stuff evolves just for the fuck of it. I think that stuff is supposed to evolve out of necessity because it's something that it needs to survive. So if that particular type of monkey that they think we came from was no longer, being a monkey was no longer sufficient to survive, how did so many other types of monkeys survive, but yet they're still exactly the same? They haven't like become halfway between monkeys and people. They're just still monkeys, you know. Another thing with monkeys, they have thumbs on their feet, you know what I mean, and the fact that we have thumbs is just dramatically important for us to be able to get to where we're at, so we can pick stuff up, you know, we can build stuff, whatever it may be. You're able to use your hands more efficiently than other species of living things out there. So why would it be that in evolving, even if they were standing on their back feet at all times, why would we evolve out of a second set of thumbs, which would, I mean, if two thumbs make us this much more, two thumbs allows us to have this much ability to be so far ahead than any other species or monkeys or any other thing out there, why would we evolve out of a second set of those? Even if we were standing on those feet all day, you'd think that we wouldn't lose, you know, and go from another thumb to a little stubby toe. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. And it's just that if we only knew monkeys as a fossil, like we know dinosaurs only as fossils, we've never seen dinosaurs, and monkeys didn't exist at all, and we found all these fossils of monkeys, then I would think, all right, well, maybe it's possible because they're not around anymore. So what did happen to them, and why did other things survive? How could they have been wiped out? They had, maybe we'd turn in us. But shit, I'm losing my point here. I mean, there's the missing link ain't ever been found. And it's like they call it the missing link, but it wouldn't just be one link, because it's not going to go monkey, half human. There's going to be a bunch of stages all the way along this process, because it would take thousands, maybe longer, of years for this change to happen. So you think you'd find a bunch of things in between, at all different stages in between, all over the world, but we don't. It's called a missing link because I can't find it. And if they could find that, all right, maybe I could believe it. But I find it hard to believe. And it's like, that's the thing, is like, I've seen little things like, oh, they believe they found the missing link. Trust me, when scientists, if scientists ever discover the missing link, no fucking human being on the planet is ever going to be able to not hear that news, because they're going to take that opportunity to say, we fucking told you, we're right, evolution, here it is, we just proved it. And they're going to fucking shove that in people's faces every fucking chance they get. All over the news, all the time. We're right. Hey, look at us, we're right. They're not going to let people not know. Hell, the people in uncontacted tribes in South America or Africa or wherever else it may be, they'll probably even end up knowing about it. They'll send somebody to go, hey, guess what? We found this out. So, I don't know. Here's the thing, though. If all this was a cosmic mistake for everything that's, that we see, this infinity, to go from something that's so tiny you can fit on the head of a pin, And then all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, it just blew up into infinity with just unbelievable amounts of shit out there. Planets and solar systems, galaxies, and all kinds of wild shit. Black holes and everything. And how does that just happen? Now, again, that's the thing, the Big Bang, I don't really know about that. I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. Granted, it says trust me, I've never read the Bible. I don't really go to church. I have a few times, but I just believe that I like to believe that something created this. That is what I truly believe, but, shit, I just lost my train of thought there. Hold on one second, let me think about that. So, why would this little tiny, almost nothingness just blow up into what we see right now just by chance? Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, I'm just saying, if the whole universe is just some sort of cosmic mistake, or maybe there's a multiverse and universes pop up all the time, and maybe life on Earth, period, or maybe just human beings is some cosmic mistake. But it's like, that's a pretty grim way to look at things, It's like, well, what's the point in any fucking thing if we're just an accident? But if something created us and had a purpose for us, and everybody alive has some sort of purpose to play in this world, to me that seems like a much more appealing way to look at life. It makes life more exciting because you feel like, that purpose. I mean, you feel like you have a purpose here. And I don't know, I like that. I like it a lot because, I don't know, my fear of, not so much fear of the law or jail, which that is part of it, but it's my fear of God that has kept me from doing a lot of crazy shit. I mean, I've done some pretty crazy shit anyways, but, me believing that there is a God and I will have to answer him one day has made me not only try to not do too crazy shit, but it makes me try to be a decent person towards other people, at least until they're shitty to me. But I don't know, it just seems like it's just such a better way, to me it's such a better way to look at life, like all this happened for a reason. And if this creator did make the universe in 6 days, then they say we're about 14.5 billion years old. I mean, that would literally be a Big Bang. 6 days compared to 14.5 billion years. I mean, that would literally look like a Big Bang. There's nothing, and then just there it is. And maybe it's God, made this stuff. Maybe that's what makes it go outward. I don't know. But I don't know. I just like to. That's just how I feel about it. And again, I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm not trying to tell anybody that their way of thinking is wrong, because everybody think what you want. But it's always been fascinating to me because look at all the miracles that had to happen just for life to be able to be here. We had to have a planet with a rocky surface, a hard surface for us to live on. That had, hold on. Sorry, I couldn't tell if that was thunder or my neighbor has some friends over and they're playing music. So I don't know if it was that or if it's thunder or what, but it was loud. So, shit, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, yes. So we have to have this place. Have to have an atmosphere. It has to have oxygen. It's nitrogen, I believe, too. But it has to have the shit that we need to breathe. And the thing is, just that alone, an atmosphere and air we could breathe is just a fucking huge miracle. But do you ever notice we don't ever run out of oxygen? Because we have a built-in air filter right here on the planet, in plants. And it just so happens that the stuff that covers the fucking land area of the earth, that those things need carbon dioxide. Hold on a second. Fuck. Alright, so definitely thunder. It's about to start piss pouring rain outside. But these plants need what we breathe out. They have to breathe that shit in, and their waste is the shit that we happen to breathe. If that ain't a miracle, I don't know what is. The fact that we have literally a built-in air filter system, even out in the desert. There's so much oxygen and whatever it is we need to breathe, that even out in the desert where there's no plants, maybe even hundreds of miles, you can still breathe just fine out there. It's crazy. Now, the fact that atoms and cells and things, well, I don't know, it's atoms, because everything's made up of atoms. So, for all these atoms to be able to take and hold the shape of something, and they're so small, I mean, they're microscopic, and that they all hold their shape to where when I go to reach for this right here, my fingers don't just go through it. You know, the atoms hold their shape no matter what. They're holding that shape together, unless you blow it up or whatever, but still. The fact that atoms can do that is another miracle. The fact that the human body can even fucking work, or any living animal, but just humans in general, like the fact that we have, you know, all the stuff we have, and the nerves and the blood flowing everywhere, it's like, we're literally like a biological machine. And the fact that you can just do so much fucking abuse to your body, ridiculous amounts of abuse, physical, mental, you know, tons of drugs or alcohol, or doing other things like people who are bodybuilders and just are stretching their body out to just massive proportions. And you can do all that shit to your body and it just keeps on ticking. The fact that you don't have to sit and think, consciously make your heart beat, the fact that it just fucking does it, you can't even really stop it out, even if you wanted to, just by thinking about it. You know, the fact that you're just breathing, you know, like most time I fucking don't even think about breathing because it's just so natural. And the heartbeat and everything inside your body working exactly the way it's supposed to is just a fucking huge miracle. The fact that we need water and the planet's just covered in fucking water, that's huge. Now a lot of it's not fresh water, but I'm sure they could find a way to take the salt and whatever else out of it and use that productively and still make fresh water for people. I'm sure that they can do that. They have to by 2019. And if not, I'm sure they know how to make it. So, all these miracles. And the fact that our Earth is the right distance from the sun. I mean, that thing is, well, I'm not sure, but I think roughly 1,000 times bigger than the Earth is. And it's so far away, I mean, it's like a little circle up in the sky. I mean, sometimes the moon even looks bigger. And this just massive chain reaction of fucking atomic, you know, reaction or whatever it is that fucking is happening up there is happening. And it's a fucking something we absolutely need, and we're close enough, and there it is. The moon. I mean, they say they know how the moon got here, but they might call it scientific fact, but you got to remember that scientific fact, all that means is it's fact until we prove it otherwise, you know. At one point, it was scientific fact that the Earth was flat. It was scientific fact that the sun goes around us. But now we know, well, most of us know, that that's not the case. And so now the scientific fact has changed. Now, there are a lot of scientific facts that are just fucking fact and they're not going to be disproven. But I'm just saying, you got to think about it when they say that this is how we got the moon. We know it. They don't really know it. You know, I mean, they could say they're 100%, but they'll never really fucking know. Quite likely, they'll never know. But the fact that we have this moon, and it keeps us tilted at the same angle, because if we didn't have the moon, the planet would start to fucking wobble, and it could go from, like, middle of summer to middle of winter in a day or two, and it could just, you'd never be able to grow crops. There was something on History Channel about, some documentary about the moon, and it was telling about that, and it's like, dude, if it wasn't exactly where it's at, I mean, that's what makes our days 24 hours long, that's what keeps us spinning through night and through day, and if we were any closer, we'd spin faster. If it was any further away, we'd spin slower. And it's just right. Now, granted, if it was always that way, we would have just made time in different increments, or called, you know, a minute might have been more or less time. You never know. But the fact that the moon is there, and it is extremely vital to have there. And it helps give us, like, changing seasons. Because if we were just standing straight up at all times, too, if we had a moon that was holding it straight up, it would always be colder the further north or south you go from the equator, and it'd be hotter the closer you got to the equator, and it would always be that way year round. So the fact that we have that moon is just a fucking huge miracle, and that it's as big as it is, and that it has a gravitational pull on us that is as strong as it is, and all these things happening. I mean, I don't believe in chance or coincidence or luck at all. I don't believe in it. Maybe it's true for some people, maybe some people are lucky, maybe some aren't. But I just don't believe in coincidence, luck, or chance. I just don't. I mean, what are the chances that all that shit would line up just right to support life. Or maybe if we did come from single cell organisms, maybe we just evolved into our surroundings and just used what we had. That's possible too. But I believe that if there was a Big Bang, or if we did evolve, that a creator created that and made that happen. That's just how I like to look at life. So, hold on a second, I'm having a brain fart. Okay, but yeah, I was just saying that, like, a Big Bang or an evolution, I believe that if something really did create us, that it would have made those things happen. Now, on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts, he was talking to somebody about the Big Bang and how it's 14.5 billion light years long. And Joe said, from the point of that initial point that everything was at, and that Joe said, well, wouldn't there be 14.5 billion years the other direction? And the guy said, no, it's just one direction, like a shotgun blast instead of a bomb. Which to me, I mean, again, I don't know. I'm just, what I think about it, I'm like, but what would make something that tiny that's going to just expand out like crazy? Why would it only go in one direction? Why wouldn't it literally in every direction possible just keep getting bigger and bigger? You'd think that'd make more sense, but I don't remember what guest it was, but according to this guy, that's not the case. That's just, he says that it's all in one direction, which really makes me wonder. It really does. Another trippy thing is, if anyone's ever seen the movie Dark City, every night at midnight, time stops and everyone just falls asleep where they're at, and there's these people, I forget what they call them, but they come out of hiding, and they will inject people in the back of the neck, and it's a whole new lifetime of memories. Like one couple, it was like this real poor looking couple in a dirty apartment, and they came in and gave them both a shot in the back of the neck, changed their place to a giant mansion, made them wealthy, and and when they woke up, that's all they ever remembered. They had no recollection of the life before that. So here's something to think about. What if right now, something like that happened? Like the life you're living right now, you weren't living that life previously, and it could have been 10 years ago, or it could have just happened to where you got this whole new line of memories and have no idea about the past. I don't know, that's another thing I like to think about. That's really crazy. But I don't know. I like to believe in fate. I like to believe that everybody has. A lot of people want to believe in free will, and that we very may well have free will. It's very possible, but I just personally like to believe that we all serve a purpose, and that everything that happens to us for a reason, and the lessons we learn happen for a reason, not just by chance. That everything that happens to you is leading you to something in your life. Some people it may be big, some people it may be small, some in between, but that everything that happens is heading you in a particular direction for a particular reason. It just makes life much more interesting to me to look at it like that. It's just, I guess it gives me hope for the future and for life in general, for mankind, and that we're heading in a direction and we're heading for a reason. So I don't know. I just think it's a cool way to look at shit. At least to me, it's a cool way to look at shit. So, again, please don't nobody get weird. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I don't care what you believe. That's fine. I just thought I'd throw that out there because when I think of space, that's what makes me think about that. And like, how could all of that just be fucking chance? How could that be chance? There's just so much out there. In distances and in sizes our brains could never fucking fully comprehend, or even come close to in some cases. How is that by chance? That just seems crazy. But again, it just seems crazy to me that it could be that way. But again, maybe it is. I don't know. But I just like thinking about space because it's right there. I mean, on the other side of my ceiling. But it's there at all times. And a lot of people don't even pay it no mind. As far as they're concerned, that has nothing to do with them, and they're just going on their life. So I don't know, but it's so exciting to learn about space and to think that one day people might be living on another planet. I just think of all the thousands of years that people lived and had no idea. They just always assumed it was impossible, that we couldn't even fly, let alone go to space or go to the moon or to other planets. And it's like, it's just crazy. They all thought all of this was impossible, and yet we did it. I don't know. It's crazy. But, I don't know. I don't really also have else to talk about space, but I love space. It's so wild. And that all the laws of physics we know, not all of them, but a lot of shit that we know for laws of physics don't apply out there, or at least most of them don't, you know. And the way things are, like, it's just a whole different universe, or a whole different place. But yeah, all these people from thousands of years ago that just look at the moon every night, look at the moon like, man, what is that? How do you know? Wouldn't it be great to go there? They had no idea that down the road people were going to actually go there. I don't know if they really went to the moon or not. I like to believe that they did, but that's not what I'm saying. Just point is that the shit that's out there, like, we've made it to space. We fly all over the planet all the time. People are flying everywhere. Hell, I like going skydiving. I just went for my 7th jump this year. And we can not only fly, but we can fucking jump out of them at really high heights and just come ripping back down towards the earth. And you just have basically a tarp in your backpack, and you just poof, this thing stops your ass, or slows you down, I mean. But nobody would have ever thought that possible. I mean, there's people working on jetpacks right now. The Jetman Dubai guy, that shit's cool. I mean, you got to start off up high and like on a helicopter and fall off, but these things maneuver like fighter jets do. And they have a video of them flying in I forget the country, in Dubai, where they had this giant airliner, like a 747 flying, and they got one guy on either side of it just keeping right there with them. That shit is wild. I never thought we'd see the day. The one that they used in the early Sean Connery James Bond movie, there was a jetpack there, essentially. And there's another guy with, I think he calls it a hoverboard, but it's not like a Back to the Future hoverboard. This thing can go up to, I don't know exactly how high, maybe 20 feet up, maybe 30 feet up, and this thing, it looks like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man. He's just standing on this thing, and he can just go cruising around. And, man, it's exciting, and people just 100 years ago would say we're out of our fucking minds. Maybe, well, I don't know exactly when the Wright brothers did their ship. We'll say in 1850. Right around the Civil War time and the Wild West and all that shit, would have no idea that this stuff was coming. Have no fucking clue that we'd be having just thousands of flights a day all over the world at all times. It never stops, just going and going and going and going. And they really believed it was not possible to fly. And, man, to go to space, all the technology. I would love to be able to go back to and get somebody from 1850 and bring him here and just show him what the fuck is going on. But like you see how in Back to the Future, when they fuck with the past, that might drastically alter the future, because this person might go back and start developing shit that wouldn't have come out so much later. But there was a Twilight Zone episode about a story like that too. This guy was going to be hung for being a murderer, and right as he drops, he just disappears, and he pops up in the 60s, and just he doesn't even understand what's going on. The buildings and the cars, and he never had no idea what a car was, and all the noise and sound of being, I think it was New York City they were in, and it was just driving him nuts because he could not comprehend it. He goes to a bar, and there's a TV, and they got a guy standing there in a cowboy outfit going, "All right, you're ready to draw." This dude freaks out and shoots the TV because he doesn't know what a TV is. He thinks it's a window and that somebody's about to shoot him through it. Man, it'd just be crazy. I love thinking about that. Or even just going back in time and taking some of our technology, like a fucking smartphone. Can't use the internet back then, obviously, but just to be able to show these people this device and a camera right there. Dude, that is fucking crazy. But, alright, well, I guess all I did was talk about space tonight, but I got a lot of topics, a lot of things that I just would like to discuss with people, because I usually sit and tell Jackie, but I don't know how interested she really is in hearing about fucking space or music or whatever. But I do want to talk about music sometime soon, so I'm going to do that here pretty soon. But I don't know, I got to go to bed. Let's see, it is, can't even see the time. And it's a little after 1 o'clock, so I'll let y'all go. And everybody be safe. Everybody have a great night, and take care, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.